Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome again to another painting tutorial. Today is Sunday here in the USA and I decided to paint. I think this will be the first time that I'll be doing this. I'll be painting some foxgloves. If you know that flower, it's kind of beautiful and very unique, and it looks like a little like tiny bells. Okay, so I'll be using a lot of purple colors today, and the background will be a suggestion of a garden, but we will not be detailing the background, meaning we will only be using colors that are suggestive of the surrounding areas. Okay, so the colors that I'll be using and mentioning will also be listed in the description box below, so you can check them out. Here are the colors that I'll be using for today's tutorial. We have cadmium yellow, permanent green, deep black, dark, what do you call this? Magenta, dark magenta, and then we have light magenta, brilliant purple, and titanium white. So I'm gonna background first my canvas, and I'll be using a fairly large canvas so that I get large coverage. Relatively large coverage in one stroke. As you know, time is really of importance to me, so I want it done fast. So I'm gonna get my black. I'm gonna start with black, and I'm gonna start creating some abstract-ish brush strokes right here. I'm gonna get my green, so it will be a combination of black, green, yellow, and white. But you have to start this way. I'm gonna grab my yellow. So don't be scared to do this step. I know it's kind of weird. I'm gonna get my white. Okay, again black. So the background is really suggestive of nature because of the presence of color greens. Color green and then yellow. Okay, I'm gonna get again my black. Okay, I'm gonna get my white. We want to see some light. Okay, some yellow. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get again my black. You can actually do this without the background, but I feel like if it's done without the background, it's gonna be like an object painting. It's not really a nature painting. I'm gonna get my yellow. Again, I'm just alternately using those three colors, 3 or 4, white, green, black, yellow. Yeah, that's it. Those 3 colors. And I'm not washing my brush, as you probably have noticed, because we want some abstract colors or brush strokes, and by not washing my brush, it helps create that wholeness in the painting by seeing other colors present when you do a brush strokes using a more dominant color. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I'm just gonna wet my brush just to use the excess paints, because sometimes when you don't wash it, the paints get stuck and you don't want to waste that. Just make use of. Okay, so you can see I darken some areas right here to give it depth, and I want to thin the paint because as you know, I really don't like slow drying paints. If you probably have watched some of my videos, I've mentioned about how I don't really like super wet paints. So I'm just gonna try to thin it. Okay, probably I'm gonna, oops, that's too thick, you can tell. But I won't be painting so much on the sides really, so it doesn't really matter now. Okay, I just want to make some suggestion of light by creating some lighter colors. Okay, just like that. So this is really a good background. It's very abstract, as you can see it. Okay. And I hope, I'm still working near the heater, the house heater. So I hope it dries pretty quickly. I don't want to wait too long. And only now that I realize I took a lot of paint from my tubes. I didn't realize that, I've been painting for years, but still, I love getting a lot of paints from my tubes. And then in the process, I only realize that I only need so much. Anyway, just place some thin film over it and you can use it. If you're like me who use a lot of paints, not use, but who get a lot of paint but not use them. All right, so I think this is already thin enough for it to dry pretty quickly so that we can proceed with sketching. I'm softening as well so that we can proceed directly to sketching the foxgloves. I'm just so excited, guys, because this is my first time as well to paint some foxgloves. And for the sketch, I'll be using white paint, titanium white, so that you can see it exactly. I mean, you can see it clearly. I'm gonna get my white and start sketching it. I'm just checking if we're filming. Yes, we are. Okay, I'm gonna start. So this will be focus more on the center of my canvas. So we won't be painting a distant object. It will be a focus subject. So I'll be starting by sketching the flowers. These are like tiny bells. If you Google foxgloves, you'll see that they really look like tiny bells. Okay. So the background colors are still wet. I can feel how wet it is, but we're still in the sketching process, so don't worry too much if you're not painting along with me. If you're gonna paint later on, I suggest that you dry first your canvas, maybe use a hairdryer before you proceed to painting or sketching the foxgloves, because you don't want to destroy the background by painting wet on wet. But if you're really good at painting wet on wet, you can always do whatever style you want. Okay. So there will be some foxgloves at the back as well. You can tell that it's still wet. I hope by the time I finish the sketch, the paint is relatively dry so that I can do some pink colors. I really like to paint big subjects. I don't know why. I'm not really a fan of small, small, you know, figures. I'm not really a fan of those things. That's why you never or you rarely see me paint, or you rarely see any painting of mine that has people in it, especially landscapes, because I really don't like to paint small figures on my painting. I just don't like it. As you can see here, so these are the foxgloves. They will be connected by one stem. So for the stem, I'm just gonna use black. Just for sketching purposes, I'm gonna grab my black, and so that you can see it against the green background. So I'm gonna do this first. Okay. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna allow this first to dry. Okay. All right, I'm gonna wash my brush out. Let's see if this is dry. Okay, it's pretty dry, and I'm happy about that because now we can proceed to underpainting it using some purples. And for the underpainting, I'll be using a darker version of the magenta color. So I'm gonna get my magenta right here, as you can see, and I'll be adding black. I'll be getting my purple just to create that purpley colors. And I'm gonna start doing this. I'm so glad that it dried pretty quickly today. Okay, also here. Again, this is the underpainting. We will be painting over the white because we really don't need that. We'll be using white for the highlights, but not for the outline. Maybe darkening it a bit. Okay. You can hear, is that a fire truck? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so I hope you can see it on camera, what I'm doing. Okay, like that. I'll be doing the same thing over here. And also the inner, as you can see here, I'm not really painting over everything. You can still see that I'm leaving some areas unpainted because those will be reserved for light effects. Okay. We need more purple. Okay, now I'm going to paint over some areas. I'm applying the paints quite thinly. You can still see it on camera. All right. Okay. So for those areas that I really did not paint, I'm just scrubbing the remaining paints on those areas so that they get some coverage, but I'm applying the paint quite thinly. Okay. We just want some coverage. We don't want to apply too thick paints. All right, now I'm gonna change my brush. I'm gonna switch to a smaller brush. I'm gonna use my white. And I'm gonna take advantage of this time when the paint is still wet. Okay, so I'm gonna apply some white. So I'm also allowing the purple to mix. Okay. Again, I normally don't enjoy wet on wet, but for this type of painting, since we're playing with light, we're doing some highlights, it's okay. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of purple on the white portion because I don't want it to be super white. Remember, the white is only used to highlight. If it becomes a separate part of the object, then it isn't consistent with just being the highlight. Okay, I'm gonna lighten the inside portion. Okay. And then later I'll be adding some details right there. Okay, I'm gonna get again my white. And I'm gonna lighten the inside again. This is really something different for me. I really haven't done something like this. I kind of like the novelty of it all. I mean, since I don't normally do this, and now I'm doing it, it feels like I'm doing something new. Even if it's still painting, you know, I'm doing something new. I'm gonna create some more highlighted parts. Okay, just like that. Also right here. Some more white. And some light pinks as well. Okay. And also here. Applying white right here to give it some light. The light is, if you're wondering, the light is coming from the left side. Okay. Now we're going to separate the foxgloves from each other. And to do that, I'll be using dark purple. So I'll be adding black and red and purple all together. And I'll be using that in between, okay? It's like silent, these are like silent outlines, meaning you don't want to have those lines really visible, but we want to make sure that visually the foxgloves are separated. So I'm just going around the foxgloves, basically removing the white lines that we use for sketching. But again, don't apply too thick of this color. You don't want that because it will look cartoonish. There's nothing wrong with cartoon style of painting, but you know that it's not my style. and we're not going for that look. So again, trying to separate it. Okay. I'll be adding some more purple markings. That's too dark. Okay. Again, we want to make sure that each foxglove is separated. Okay. Let me check. Oh, I forgot to separate. And even the folds, we have to separate. I have to get some yellow and green, add some black, and I'm gonna add some detailing. Okay. Let's add some leaves. We'll be detailing this later. We just want to make sure that they're there already. Since we're also waiting for the colors of the foxgloves to dry before we can proceed to layering even more and adding some details. Let's just do some more of the background detailing. These are not really background, but these are leaves that we're not really focused on doing. These are part of the suggestion of what it is. It is a live foxgloves, but it's still planted, that it's still connected to the nature. I'm gonna add some brownie colors. Okay. I'll be using a more pointy brush. I'm gonna get this one. I don't know if my lighting is too bright. I'm gonna adjust it. Okay. So now I'm gonna add more details. I'm gonna get my white and start highlighting some areas. Again, I'm just gonna go around. So I'm still using white to give it more highlight. Okay, now I can layer over this area. Earlier it's super wet, that's why I couldn't, I couldn't layer it. Okay. This is just white again. Okay. I'll be getting some dark purple, so I'm gonna get my red and black and my brilliant purple. And I'm gonna start making some dots inside this. Okay, I'm gonna add black. It's quite dark. Inside the foxgloves, because there are details inside the foxgloves. Right. Adding some purples. And I'm just darkening this area. Excuse me. It's too dark. Okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna use another brush. I'm just gonna make some more highlights. I'll be dry brushing with white. Alright. I'm sorry about the noise, guys. Did you know that... Sorry. Did you know that when I was in Manila, before I left the Philippines, I had the same thing because my condo is right in front of the main road. So it is very common that in my videos you'd hear a lot of street sounds or street noise. And it's the same thing right here because the condo building where I'm residing is also right in front of the main street. That's why. I'm sorry guys, but I hope it does not really affect your interest in following along and painting along with me. I'm just gonna fix this area. I think I over painted it with some dots. Alright. I'm just lightening it. Okay, now, remember that we got the light magenta or the pink color. I'll be using that to glaze over the foxgloves. So I'll be using this pink color and I'll be glazing over some areas. When we glaze over, we don't want to paint over. We just want to make sure that everything is in one color. If it's purple, it's purple. If it's pink, it's pink. The purpose of glazing is to make the subject whole, like one whole subject. I'm adding a little bit of white. Again, I'm just using this light magenta color to give it wholeness. And the way I'm applying my paint is quite light. Just like that. All right. Let's go back to the leaves while I allow the paints to dry a bit so that I can layer over it. We'll be fixing a lot of areas here because it's not really the look that I want. So I'll be going back to the leaves now. And for the leaves to stand out, I'm gonna outline first the shape. We'll be using the same black color that we used earlier. You can mix a little bit of green to your black so that it's still consistent with the green color. So I'm just gonna outline. But very thinly though. You don't want to make thick colors. I mean thick outline. my paintbrush is not really doing, it's not really serving me well. I'll be adding some dark markings. Okay. I'll be getting my yellow. I'll be getting some white as well. I'm gonna outline even more. So that I create depth. Right here as well. Okay, I'm gonna get my fan brush. You know what? I must say that this is quite a long video, but I'm gonna try my best to really achieve that look. So I'm gonna use my fan brush, you can see here, and I'll be using the bristles of the fan brush because it looks more natural. Now I'll be using the same fan brush, but I'll be grabbing onto my pink. So I'm gonna get my light magenta. Maybe I'm gonna add a tiny bit of red so that it's nice and pinkish red. And I'll be using that color to apply quite randomly on some areas. Okay, now I need to highlight even more. So I'm gonna get another pointy brush. I'm gonna get my white and start creating some more highlights. Some blobs of white on the inside. Okay, just like that. I think that's too much. I think I applied too much white. Okay, so I'm just gonna adjust that. Apply some pinks. Okay. I'm gonna use some dark colors just to make some you know, depth and dimension. Especially for those areas that are under, okay, another flower. Okay, I'm just gonna separate these two. All right. Okay, now let's proceed to the insides. I'm gonna get my magenta again. And maybe I'm going to add some details. Okay, let's add some more. You know, these are suggestions that there are still more plants or flowers that are right here on this picture, that it doesn't end where the painting ends, it is continuous. Okay, before I go back to the flowers, because I'm starting to get tired of the flowers, I'm gonna go back to the stem since we're not yet done. I'm gonna get some light green. I'm gonna highlight the right side. Okay, just like that. I'll be using green this time, but this time we want to make sure that it looks like green. It's not just black. Okay. It's dark, but it should not be black. So I'll be combining black, green, and white. Maybe more white, just to give it a highlight. Okay. I'm just scrubbing some pinky colors again to suggest wholeness. Let me check. Okay, I'm gonna dry brush some white. When you dry brush, just don't use water. I'm gonna darken the sides again to give it dimension. Okay, I'm gonna add some leaves. Let's highlight this side. Again, hello to some street noise. Okay, let's make some lines separating this. Let's add some hints of pinks because it connects to that part of the leaves. Okay. Alright, some markings. Okay, like that. Just using extra water so that the markings look more natural. Okay, I'm gonna get back to my white. You know, we did a lot of highlighting today, and that's because we're playing with light. Don't forget to darken this area. And of course, this area between the two flowers. We're also doing a lot of highlights, I mean, of dimensions and all that. I'm gonna make this area a little bit pink. It's very noisy outside. I don't know what happened. Okay. Okay, let me go back to the background. I know that it's just the background, but I want to do something about it. I'm gonna get my yellow. I really want to brighten the background. I'm gonna make use of my yellow here and mix it with white. I'm just gonna make some glazing again. Okay. And while it's still wet, I'm just gonna get a cloth and wipe. Okay. Just to make sure that the left side is bright. Okay. It's just a simple way of, it's a simple technique, but it does something. I'm just gonna gray this down. I'm gonna make some more details on the leaves. Again, you want to make sure that this is outlined so that it is separated from the background. I'm just gonna separate the leaves from the background. You know, these are small detailing that for me, they just make a huge difference when they're done. Again, we want to make sure that it's separate. Okay. I'll use more pink. Just to make sure that we're pretty consistent with the pink color. Okay, and then I'll use white. Okay, I'm gonna use white and yellow. And I just want to make sure that we create some more light effects somewhere. And then white. White. A little bit of green. Try to outline it. Gonna get some white. Make sure that you remove the excess water Let's create some tiny, like, detailing, little, what do you call that, pollens. Again, these are just tiny details that you kind of don't want to miss. All right. So I want to apply some greens. And then I want to use some watered down white. And I want to make use of that watered down white to create some markings. Oops. In all honesty, we did a lot of detailing that I don't normally do for a tutorial. And some more. Okay, let me check. Okay, wow, we almost spent 2 hours. It's 1:41. Okay, I think it's done. And I'm gonna sign this now. I'm gonna sign this now. Okay, wait guys. Since I've already spent time, I might as well, spend extra more time and adding more details. I'm gonna glaze it with some dark colors. Okay, I'm gonna sign this now. I'm gonna use white. I'm gonna sign right here. Okay. Okay, maybe I'm gonna add a little bit more pink. I actually forgot to separate this. All right. Just a tiny bit of separating line. Okay. Add some more highlights. Okay. Wow. I did a lot of detailing. Anyway, guys, this is done, and I hope you enjoyed this one. If you like this video, let me know in the comment section below. If you're painting along with me, let me know in the comment section below as well. So see you in my next one. I hope you enjoyed this longer video. And yeah, we did a harder subject today, but that's the fun of painting. We do a lot of like from the range of difficulty. We do first level to the most difficult level as far as tutorial is concerned, because you know, painting when it comes to tutorial and on video is different from when I'm just painting on my own. So it's gonna be longer if this is not on video, but you know what I'm talking about, guys. So I hope you still enjoy this one, and I hope you paint along with me. Bye guys, see you in my next one. Love you.